Dobry den Zaplorede. Mnie звати Vilma Fuentes. It is an honor for me to join you for this international conference. I'd like to share some information with you about how we in the United States provide mental health support to our students. Persa, it is very common for colleges and universities in the United States to have counseling session centers. These are areas where we provide mental health support to students. These are often licensed psychologists who work there full time. They are not faculty most of the time. We have psychology faculty, but then in addition to that, we have mental health counselors whose sole purpose is to provide support. Depending on the size of the institution, some of these counseling centers are small. They might be, just a few offices, or it may be a very large center or building, not unlike what you might find at a doctor's office. Centers will often provide group therapy sessions, especially when there has been a big collective trauma or incident that has impacted many students. But they also provide individual counseling sessions. They will sit one-on-one with students, talk to them, listen to them, and provide them support. As you can see from the image, our counseling services are very commonly advertised on a college's main webpage. It's not just a secret. Everyone knows about these services that are available. Some institutions have also chosen to expand the level of training and provide training to students so that they will know how to detect mental health challenges and support their friends. As you may know, sometimes students don't feel comfortable coming to the adults or the faculty or even a mental health counselor, but they will go to a friend and let them know some of the challenges they are experiencing. The training that is sometimes provided to students is just to help them initially detect when their friends are experiencing anxiety, depression, eating disorders, substance abuse, trauma, bullying, etc. And it helps them know how to respond and how to refer them to specialists, people with resources. Some colleges and universities will even provide this mental health first aid training so that students will know and understand, when their, peers are experiencing mental health challenges or problems, and will provide this training for them. It's not uncommon for colleges or universities to provide this type of training to students twice a year, once in the fall and once again in the spring. Increasingly, we find that colleges and universities in the United States are creating meditation, wellness, and mental health classes or coaching to be able to help our students. This is especially important to be able to minimize stress and anxiety. The support we can offer can be to provide, regular weekly meditation sessions, to provide coaching on wellness and other such things. And of course, physical health is very closely tied to mental health. So although physical education is not a requirement in American colleges and universities, there are many facilities that are provided to students and classes. These can be taken as a group or individually. Since students have different needs and different interests, we try to create sporting events that are outdoors and indoors. Sometimes it can be a group class, sometimes it could be more individual sessions. The point is to encourage students to continue to move, to continue to exercise as a way to maintain their mental and physical fitness. Art therapy is also another relatively affordable option available to colleges and universities. Sometimes simply giving a student a pen, paper, some paintbrushes, and encouraging them to express their feelings through paint is a form of therapy and counseling. Students may express through their painting that they are confused, that they're depressed and have a difficult time even getting up in the morning, or they may, through art, process major traumatic events in their lives, such as experiences in war. Art therapy can also be used to help people de-stress, to engage in activities that will reduce anxiety. And it'll also help them address issues that, are often common in teenagers and young adults related to self-esteem, eating disorders, suicidal thoughts. One can also use art to help students envision a future that is bright, that is hopeful, and help them express their deepest desires. Simpler things that can be done is that university faculty and administrators can create a wall or a mural where students can collectively share their thoughts, share their opinions. They could even collectively engage in art that is publicly visible. It's a way to give students a voice without necessarily giving them a microphone, and can often be a very therapeutic experience. A growing number of colleges and universities are turning to pets in order to help students reduce stress and anxiety. Dogs are particularly popular. Now, we don't just get any dogs. These are special dogs that have been trained, that have a calming effect. The students can come, they can sit one-on-one with the dogs, they can be together in groups, but it's a form of therapy. And usually the dogs are available within the university or college counseling center. Not exclusive, you might be able to find them outdoors, but that's also available. American colleges and universities are also increasingly turning to meditation gardens as a way to provide students a space where they can de-stress and reduce some of their biggest anxieties. Some of these could be spaces that have water. They might have benches. It could be big open spaces where you can have an outdoor yoga classes. It can take many different forms, but the point is to give students a place where they can, alone or in small groups, go and collect their thoughts and reduce the stress in their lives. And while we're talking about the outdoors, gardening in general has become a very popular form of therapy. It helps promote healing, it helps promote hope, and it can take many forms. People can help collect seeds and engage in seed banking. They could plant trees or tree seedlings. They can grow plants in pots and slowly see them grow. You can engage children, and it can even be a community activity. So it could be a gardening club for students only or for students and staff, but it could also be an activity that a university is providing to the community at large. For example, in many parts of the United States, we are seeing people dedicate space and resources to create gardening centers for military veterans. Similarly, these could be gardening centers for the community at large. It's a way for people to have access to fresh food, and it's also a form of therapy. For American universities to provide information to students, often on their website, about how to prepare good and healthy meals, how to create a balanced diet. And if you have the facilities available, you can even create, monthly events whereby faculty and students gather together to cook. This is such an important skill that many of us might take for granted, but that we should be trying to pass on to our students. In a few unique cases, we have universities that have gotten together with their students to compile healthy eating cookbooks with easy tips on how they can prepare meals that are low cost. They might be using foods from the garden and that are freely available. These can be put on the website, on Facebook, on the internet, but they can, also just be printed and delivered to students in other ways. And of course, suicide is another challenge that your society and our society face. And we continually struggle to find ways to be able to prevent this and to provide support to people before they turn to these types of thoughts and actions. In the United States, we have now created a telephone hotline. So you can get your telephone and dial 988, 988, and you can instantly receive support. But in addition to that, colleges and universities have these trained professionals, usually within the counseling centers, that can give live support and assistance to students, to staff, to anyone who might need it. Finally, it is critically important that we communicate our services to students. In the United States, you can find any of this information by generally going to our website. But if students are not proactive, if they don't look for this information themselves, then it is critically important for faculty and others whom they communicate with to be able to share that with them. So in most American universities and colleges, faculty are being asked to share information about counseling, about mental health, about where to seek help if they've been a victim of some sort of abuse. And this type of information, it's shared through Moodle or Canvas or whatever your online management system is. It's shared on paper in students. It's shared verbally in a class. And anytime a faculty member or an employee of a college or university is aware that there is a student that is having a mental health challenge, they are expected to step in and provide those services, or at least refer them to the services that are available by the institution. So thank you for your attention and support. And I hope this sharing of experiences may help you during this time of challenging